Israelis in Tel Aviv said on Friday largely dismissed a world court order to stop an Israeli military offensive into Rafah. Friday's ruling by the World Court was the latest in a series of steps in recent weeks that have deepened Israel's international isolation over its conduct of the war in Gaza, which has killed more than 35,000 Palestinians, according to local health authorities. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office rejected the allegations in the case brought by South Africa that Israel was carrying out genocide in Gaza as false, outrageous and morally repugnant.
Full decision. I do think, based off what I've seen in the short news articles that I've seen, it's not really connected to the reality. We need to go into Rafah. We need to sort of solve these issues. We need to get Hamas out of there, and just calling for a one-sided ceasefire is not going to give any hope for a long-term solution. Hopefully we can achieve one at some point, but I don't think that's possible in the current situation.
The fact that they're even having this conversation is quite ludicrous, to be honest. I think that we have women, young women, we have men, we have elderly individuals that have been taken hostage, and it makes no sense for a country that's trying to defend and protect its people to not get them back home. And it doesn't matter if you're American or Swiss or Spanish, wherever you're from, you would do the same thing. And so the fact that they're even discussing it, I think, is out of their jurisdiction in many ways. And I think more so, thinking that, we're there in order to harm innocent people is just completely false. That's just not how the IDF functions. That's not how Israel functions.
I think the court in Hague spent a lot of time trying to get to this decision and to make this decision. And I think it's very clear that currently Israel is not governed by a government that is capable of making any important decisions. And they're doing a lot of things out of personal interests and not for the greater good. So I think it might be a good time to cease fire, return the hostages, let Gaza rest, stop the violence. I've been protesting for years against this government and the previous ones. And I'm siding with what people in The Hague are saying. I don't think they want to harm Israel. I think it's the best interest of both Israelis and Palestinians.
The war, triggered by the Hamas-led attack on communities around the Gaza Strip on 7 October last year, has caused a widening gulf between Israel and much of the rest of the world and serious strains between Netanyahu's government and its closest allies, including the United States. Rafah, close to the border with Egypt, had taken in more than 1 million Palestinians displaced from their homes by the Israeli ground assault until an evacuation order by the military earlier this month sent hundreds of thousands to seek refuge in camps in central Gaza.
First, I don't think the whole world will stop the war and genocides in Gaza, because the invasion of Gaza started not on 7 October, but from 76 years. The international court, I think it's a big play, but it's not good in this time, because the Palestinian people here in Gaza, children, men, women, we lost everything here in Gaza was completely destroyed. So the decision, what the Palestinian need is immediately stop war. We don't need a declaration, we need application.
Outside Israel, there has been shock at the harrowing television images of the suffering in the ruins of Gaza, where aid agencies, struggling to get enough emergency supplies in, report a growing humanitarian crisis. For Israelis, the devastating attack by Hamas-led gunmen that killed some 1,200 people in the deadliest day in Israel's history remains a traumatic scar, made worse by the fate of around 250 hostages seized and taken into Gaza.
واحد طلع طلع ضربني بهذا يا حاج